back. It's another review. It's been a minute, and yeah, I really only do these when I feel compelled to get something off my chest. And I had the pleasure to catch Vampires versus the Bronx. Typically, if I was at the crib, I probably wouldn't watch this because I'd be scared that it was whack, and I really hate wasting my time doing things that's whack when I'm at the crib. But since I decided to take a quick pandemic trip, get out of New York, you know what I mean? I'm in a remote location, I'm in a rural area. I'm just got the Netflix up. I'm gonna check this Vampires versus the Bronx joint because I love vampires. I really love vampires, and I love anything related to New York. Always been that way. Vampires was always my favorite thing growing up to watch as a kid. So, it was better than I expected. It actually was good. It was a good movie, but can't have black people in movies without some sort of propaganda, without some sort of bullshit. Like, if there's black boys in a movie, there's black male characters, and we dealing with Hollywood or Netflix or wherever, what Netflix, I guess, is Hollywood now. I mean, I don't know, but there's gonna be some propaganda in that shit. I guarantee you every single time. Especially with Netflix. Netflix just be with the black male characters, man. All these streaming things for real. They just, yeah, it's either stereotype or just propaganda. So, again, you already know how my reviews go. I'm done spoiling. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the plot. I'm talking about the things I liked and I disliked. I'm gonna start with likes. I liked the acting for the most part. I saw Desus or Mero, one of them had a role in it. Appreciated that. His acting was alright. You know what I mean? He had a couple parts, but you could kind of tell when somebody's I guess trying and they're not really an actor. He has room to grow. I wish more roles to him because, I like their show. Zoe Saldana is randomly in it with her beautiful, fine ass. She had a small part. I'm surprised. I mean, I guess because, spoiler, because she didn't last very long in the movie, they didn't put her face on it. But if her face was on that shit, I would have clicked it way faster, but way earlier. I mean, this movie came out, wait a minute. Oh, it's October 8th. This movie came out last week. So I thought I was late. I don't know why I thought it was the end of October right now. So, I mean, yeah, I would have clicked it a lot faster if I would have known Zoe Saldana was in it. Anyways, so I like that. The acting was pretty good. Those kids did well. Don't know their names, but I don't know. One of them's a Disney star. Coco something. I guess she was recently complaining about how Hollywood would try to pigeonhole her roles, stereotype or typecast her roles or whatever. And I loved her character. She's a beautiful black girl, and good actor. Probably better than the other kids. You could kind of tell she, has a little bit more experience maybe. So I don't recognize the other kids at all. I love the fact that it was real, it was funny. It wasn't corny funny. It wasn't gentrified black comedy. It was it was relevant, and they were, it was very they were using words that were natural and sayings that people say. It wasn't old or corny. It was written well and written up to date, I would say. What else do I like about it? It was short, only an hour and a half. I love that. I think movies are just too long now. I hate how long things are. It's just hour and a half, in and out, That was good. And let's see what... it had a feel of Lost Boys. I'm a big Lost Boys fans. Shout out to my 80s babies out there that know about that Lost Boys, or even the 90s babies that had cool people around to put you on to the Lost Boys, because that's a classic vampire movie. And it gave me that kind of vibe. I mean, they definitely took a couple things out of Lost Boys, but can't knock it. That was 30 years ago or some shit. So definitely appreciated the little things it took out of Lost Boys. It was kind of like the hood Lost Boys, you know, like an updated version in plenty ways, and mixed with like the Goonies, and it was like I could tell. I guess I don't know if it's rated R, but it felt more PG, like 13, but still like cool. Wasn't like too graphic or bloody, and it kept me interested. Not gonna lie, it was an interesting movie. It was entertaining. Now here comes the propaganda. Of course, like, but they like there are three black male characters in it, teenagers. Not one of them have a dad. Like, not one of them. It's like they're all single moms, just like the typical Latino or black single mom, like stereotype. It's just like, man, you know, me understanding the strategy of systematic racism in the programming. It's just like making it okay that black boys like had like I feel like honestly that's a thing from the past. Like I hear I see a lot of men stepping up to the plate, and because of what my generation went through of 80s babies going through the war on black people, the war on black families in the 80s, war on drugs, war on black families. Because I'm a survivor of that, I'm very sensitive to that and not having a dad growing up. But I feel like my generation now are stepping up to the plate, and there are more dads. I'm seeing a lot of fathers out there stepping up to the plate. I'm not saying we don't have like a single mom problem or a family structure issue in the black community, but like to throw that narrative, to continue throwing it down our throats when that's not necessarily the case all the time, especially today, is just like blatant. They're blatant. It's just like the only male characters in this show was a preacher who was Method Man. He did okay. It's like you're either a preacher. The other thing I didn't like about it was the thugs in the movie. The thugs in the it was like they were either the preacher, some clown type characters, or the thugs that were basically about to shoot these kids. It's like those are the only male characters in this show, and man, it's just if for someone like me to enjoy things like this, that means it had to be good. Like the acting and the storytelling was actually good, because the stereotypical black male character role was just shoved down your throats. Either you're a preacher, you're a thug that would take money and shoot your kids just for money, or you're a clown. And that's it. It was like no one had a dad. And there was, no positive black male character besides a preacher. We all ain't Christian. We all don't believe in Christianity and want to be a preacher. So there's other positive black role models out here, black male role models out here, other than a preacher or a thug. You know what I mean? And I know it's the Bronx, but still, you know what I mean? Like, tired of that narrative for sure. So yeah, again, just like a lot of people be hating on my Queen and Slim review about this narrative being dangerous. I'm on that. I see through it. I read. You know what I mean? Like I'm not some wannabe black conscious because it's cool. Like I read books. I'm reading ISIS papers right now. She has a whole chapter talking about the propaganda that's shoved down our throats. And I mean, she wrote that book in the 90s, Dr. Frances Welsing. This is still relevant. And not for nothing, Netflix is like, the black male character is either going to be weak, homosexual, no problem against gays. I have nothing against gays, but it's like they're either homosexual or a thug or a preacher. It's like there's other black men out here, and I think, black gays should get their roles. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but like, why is that the only black male role that I'm seeing on Netflix lately? It's either that or fatherless children out here. And yeah, that made it a little tasteless. But at the same time, I'm so used to the propaganda, and I'm so used to the agenda that they're even shoving down these Gen Z kids. It's not even like this is Gen Z. This movie is mostly like Gen Z kids. It's just like, damn, they won't stop. They can't stop. White supremacy continues on through our media and through our symbols. Get that book too. ISIS Papers. I love that book. That book, man, like yeah. So that was my review on Vampires versus the Bronx. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about in it. Nah, besides it being like, oh, I'm reading. Okay. One more thing. So it was a twist, and I understood like the vampires were supposed to be like the gentrifiers. It's like gentrification. These vampires were coming in and taking over neighborhoods and taking over buildings. And I'm reading here, a form of white supremacy and makes it unmistakable evil. Like, I saw the metaphor there where they were playing along the lines of these evil white vampires coming in and taking over. So I like that. I did like that. That metaphor that they played in it, and that was dope. But the attack on the black man still stands. They will not stop attacking the black man. They will never stop attacking the black man. And if you read Dr. Francis's book, she tells you why. She tells you about the genetic genocide that they don't want. She tells you about the hatred against the black penis, because that black penis will take out every race and make every race turn black. So yeah, tired of that, but still a good movie. I still say check it out, but watch for that propaganda. P for that passport. We out.